Well, hello there again. Welcome to the Catalyst Report. I'm Amy Lewis from the KFBK Morning News, along with Brandon Haefele from Catalyst Mortgage, of course, CEO and founder. And you know what? There's a saying. It's always better together. And I know that every Monday through Friday on the KFBK Morning News with my partner, Dan Mitchinson, who actually is going to join us off and on here for the Catalyst Report because you are now a part of the Catalyst team.
I am.
Buddy?
Yeah, hi. And Brandon, well, you've been talking about Brandon for so long.
Yeah,
and I've been
all
here
good things.
for 3 years now, and I recently got married, have a couple of kids, instant family. So we were looking for a house, and we found it. We decided we needed to refinance it. And I was talking to you just in the hall across from here, and you said, well, you know, Brandon's right here in this studio because you were filming the Catalyst Report. So I went over to him, introduced himself to me. 15 minutes later, I look at my phone, I get a text. He says, you ready to go on this? And I was like, oh, he's kidding. He wasn't kidding. No, and that's how we got the ball rolling.
Absolutely, you know, and it was a very fun experience. We, you know, right out there, we met, we talked, and got everything going. And working with you, Dan, and for you to place your trust with Catalyst, as Amy did, you know, really meant a lot to us and to our team. And more importantly, what I'm excited about with you joining us is that this isn't just an endorsement. You know, you guys have both, you're able to give real testimonials to our company and to what our company stands for. You know, truth, you know, honest, and being transparent about the process, and not, you know, having people not get into loans that they don't want or they don't need, and just giving good information. And you guys get to help share that with me, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, and that's actually how this started between you and me, because we had filmed the Catalyst Report, and I'd come across the studio, and you were actually on the phone with Aaron talking about somebody else that you were thinking about working with, and they were not exactly doing the things that you might have wanted them to do. And so I was like, well, so you know about the Catalyst Report, go to Facebook page, and you've seen him before.
Right.
And so I said, you got to talk to Brandon.
Yeah, I had one of those sort of, why didn't I do that in the first place?
Yeah,
no. But you mentioned trust, and you know, I had that issue when I tried to buy a house before here, where I actually went into a bank and sat down, and the person across from me was trying to get me into a loan that I knew I couldn't afford. And he kept talking about the interest rate. And I said, well, it's not the interest rate I'm worried about right now. It's the fact that you're trying to saddle me with a mortgage that I know I couldn't afford. But he insisted on it. I ended up getting up and just walking out of there. And I was very leery. And I think a lot of people are. And that's why you say that if you come to you, you're going to look at the numbers. You're going to say, what's your situation? And if things look good, you're going to say, hey, things look good. But if you think you can get them a better deal, you're like, let me help you.
You know,
that's the thing, exactly.
Yeah, especially in this changing rate environment. You know, when you're comparing apples to apples, or is the offer that you're currently being quoted the best? Even if you're in the process, we always tell, you know, consumers, let us check it out. What's the harm in shopping? You know, so many times people will, well, I have a loan officer, I have somebody that I trust, or this person was referred to me. Whether it's a trusted advisor, whether it's a friend, whether it's just a person at the bank, you always should shop around and check out, you know, the offer and make sure it's the best deal for you. And if it's the best deal, we'll tell you, hey, stick with where you're at. But if it's not, we'll advise you what we would recommend and proceed from there.
And I don't know if people know how I found you, because I was actually, Stuart and I were going through a refi as well with somebody else, and the notary, the notary public person came to our house for us to sign the final papers, big stack of papers, and all of a sudden I started noticing there were blanks on the papers. And even I know that's
not good. No.
Not a good thing. And so we actually asked the man politely to leave our home, and then I was talking with a friend of mine, and they mentioned you, and I called you right away, and honestly, Brandon, from start to finish, it was not just a pleasant process, because you did all the work and we were able just to follow along and get exactly what we wanted and sign the papers appropriately with no blanks on the papers, mind you. But you are so patient, because, you know, you're just a true, kind businessman at heart. And again, you don't force anybody to do anything they don't want to.
I appreciate that. You know, Amy, I think it's important that, you know, at the end of the day, loan officers, yes, are commissioned salespeople. People are, you know, Catalyst Mortgage, every other mortgage company in Sacramento, they make money on the loan. But at the same time, you can make great money as a mortgage professional, but do good work. And do work not just to help the individual and help their family make the biggest financial decision of their life. Let's be very clear. I mean, this is a huge decision.
Absolutely.
But also, where are you going to be in 4 years, 5 years? And know that you're going to have that same professional that's going to help you from the beginning, you know, now to when you're going to buy the second home or the third home.
Right.
And also reinvest and do as much as you can in your local community. And that's what we really try to do at Catalyst. And again, that's why I'm really excited to have you a part of this, because you guys represent, and KFBK represents what's important in Sacramento, and with our leadership and what we're doing as a community, and that you guys can now share this, just means a lot to us.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you mentioned in Sacramento, which is where we are right now. But I live up in Roseville, and
I live in Auburn.
being a newly married husband and a dad, and the hours that we work here. The last thing you want to do is go into to run to your office back and forth. So the first time I said, well, okay, what time do I need to be at your office? You said, you don't come to my office. I said, we'll come to you. You want to come to our house? Do you want to come to? Do you want us to come to your work? I said, we'll meet you at a coffee shop. And that just took a load off my mind as well, because you're not running around to so many different places.
That's a great point, Dan, because it's really, people have lives, and if we're able to complete your mortgage transaction, come to you and make it as stressless,
Yeah,
and
stress-free, yeah.
as possible. That's really what we want to do. And a lot of stuff can be done digitally, but the fact of the matter is, you want to sit down and meet somebody, shake their hand, look them face to face, and make sure that you know who you're dealing with, and that you're not dealing with a computer, someone that's not in your state, that you don't know if they're going to be there in 2 years from now. You want to deal with one person one-on-one, and that's really what our company tries to do for consumers.
That's what I like too, because I saw this guy just the other day out bowling too with his family. I looked
That was-
over.
That was.
I don't
and
know what
I'm
his
getting
score
the
was.
text. Both of them are out bowling. I'm at home getting the text.
But you make a good point, because you can call these, they're like warehouses of people that put in numbers, and you never see them face to face. And at the end of the loan, you're like, well, hold it, this isn't what you told me. But it's nice to have somebody local that you see out in the community, that you can pick up, that you see at the local bowling alley or at a restaurant or at a fundraiser, and that's part of the community.
Yeah, absolutely. It's better together. And I'm so glad that you're part of the Catalyst team now. And you're going to see Dan off and on throughout the Catalyst Report from here on out, because we are better together. That's it. It's plain and simple. And we're so happy that we're part of the Catalyst family too. You can be too. And you know what? If you just have a question about a loan that you're going through right now and you don't quite understand it, and maybe somebody's not explaining it to you properly, that's the guy to call right there. Brandon Haefele, 287-7777, 916-287-77, or online
At catalystmortgage.com.
That's catalystmortgage.com, because you know what? They truly are. At Catalyst Mortgage, igniting a difference.